The strength of your joint is really dependent on a few... This video is not sponsored by any of the brands we're about to mention. I understand there are a lot of woodworking channels out there, so I'm thankful that you chose to watch ours. Today's topic, wood glue. We're here to help set you up for success. I've been in the industry for nearly 10 decades. I don't think I even want this in here now that I'm hearing it. It's just too much talking. I'd be like, come on, get to the point. Slow-mo.
Nowadays, nothing really is ice. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she ice. Freeze, photo, please, no photos. No, G's, no, please, no photos.
Titebond 1, 2, and 3 are the most commonly used wood glues in a furniture making shop. They are PVA glues, and when they are used correctly, a glue joint is stronger than most woods. The strength of your joint is dependent on a few major things. Number 1, avoid glue starvation. I like to apply a thin layer of glue to both surfaces, avoiding any dry spots. Number 2, clamping pressure. Once you have your boards together, you'll want to get something on them to pull them together tighter. I use clamps. You can also use ratchet straps, rubber bands, hair ties, whatever you can find to pull these boards together. Once you have a small bead of glue coming out of the boards along the full length of the glue up, you have adequate clamping pressure. Number 3, grain direction. Face grain, long grain, side grain. Those are all great surfaces for glue surfaces. End grain, however, soaks up glue like the end of a paintbrush. Without proper joinery combined with glue, eventually an end grain joint will fail on impact. This just in, Patrick Sullivan just proved your grandfather wrong. Everything us woodworkers have lived by is now a lie. End grain joints are actually stronger than side grain, face grain joints. Don't believe us? We just did an end grain glue up, let it sit for 1 hour, and then threw it off of a 2-story building, and it did not break on impact. Slow-mo. Slow-mo. If you would like to see more on Patrick Sullivan's video, we are going to put a link in the description for anyone who's interested in seeing that. Glue cleanup. The best tools that I have found to use, my very favorite, is an extremely dull chisel. Then we have a glue scraper. This is actually made specifically for scraping glued joints. It works almost as good as the dull chisel. And my least favorite method, a damp microfiber cloth. And lastly, painter's tape. Depending on the moisture and the climate in your area and the amount of glue squeeze out of the joint, there's a sweet spot where you can effectively scrape away all of the glue without leaving a mess behind. I found this to be around 2 hours for me. If you have a thin bead of glue coming out with your squeeze out, this cleans up nice, anywhere between 1 and 4 hours. If you have a lot of squeeze out, you're gonna wanna wait longer before you scrape that so you don't leave a mess behind. In certain cases, there are hard to reach areas where you can't effectively clean up the glue. In these cases, I like to pre-sand and then pre-tape before I do the glue up. Any squeeze out that happens during the glue up gets onto the blue tape. I then remove the blue tape and clean up any excess left behind with a damp cloth. Now moving on to dry time. I leave almost everything I glue up in clamps overnight, but in certain cases, I need the clamps to continue working on another project. In this case, I'll wait at least an hour before I remove my glue up out of clamps. In our shop, we only use Titebond 2 and 3 for PVA glues. Both are food safe, while Titebond 1 is not. We would exclusively use Titebond 3, but sometimes it's not available in the stores locally, so we go with Titebond 2. Sometimes they get mixed up in our shop, but here's an easy way to distinguish one from the other. Titebond 2 is yellow, while Titebond 3 is white. When should you use Titebond 3? Well, anytime you're making something that might get wet, anytime you want a little bit of a longer open time when you're doing your glue up, or anytime you want the strongest joint possible for your work. To me, that means I'm using Titebond 3 pretty much every time. Titebond 2 is a close second. It's very strong as well and is even water resistant, but it's not the best. When should you use Titebond 2? Well, when you don't have enough money for Titebond 3. Liquid or hot hide glue is another great option for specific projects. It's been used for furniture making long before the PVAs became the go-to. There's so much to know about hide glues that they could really be their own video, but the main things that you need to know are, number 1, although hide glue may not be as strong as the PVA choices, it's still stronger than most woods. Number 2, with heat and moisture, you can reverse the joint without damaging the wood. Usually, a blow dryer for less than 10 minutes is enough to undo your joint. In some cases, you'll want to use a damp cloth and a hot iron to reverse the joint. Number 3, hide glue is made of animal collagen, so it stinks. Popular Woodworking has a great article on everything you need to know about hide glue. We'll leave the link in the description for anybody who's interested in reading up on that. Okay, in certain situations you might need a different glue. So what's the best glue to use for something that you need to dry a little faster than normal? Well, you have quick and thick, you have 5-minute epoxy, or you have CA glue. Those are all great options for something that you need to dry quickly. What's the best glue to use for a strong temporary hold? I like to use CA glue with painter's tape. It's a great technique used for multiple things. We use it for templates and we also use it for our CNC machine. Are you working on a complicated glue up that you need a little bit more open time? Hide glue can be undone, so that can be very helpful because you can undo it and then redo it. Or Titebond polyurethane has the longest working time of 30 minutes and it's even waterproof. Be careful though, because it does foam. Here's a couple extra tips for your memory bank that you can keep in your back pocket. When your glue cap gets clogged with glue, we like to use a screw. Screw it in from the bottom side, you can pull out the clog. Rockler roller heads are a great option when you're working on larger projects and you need fast and even coverage. I usually just use my finger, but when you see me bust out the roller head, it's about to get real. We appreciate you watching this video and we hope it helped you better understand which wood glue is best for you. If it did help you, you can help us by making your next glue purchase with our Amazon affiliate links, signing up for a class, or joining our Patreon. Hi, I'm William Douglas. They used to call me Quick and Thick. I told them knock it off. There's only one Quick and Thick. Titebond, Quick and Thick. Available at your local Rockler.